Today we're diving into the big ideas from Thibaut Murice's book, Success. And it tackles a question that can be, well, pretty frustrating. Why is it that some people seem to fail right where others succeed? The book argues the answer isn't out there in the world, but somewhere much, much closer to home.
You know that feeling, right? Like you're putting in all the work, you're running as hard as you can, but you look over and it feels like everyone else is just sprinting right past you. It's that nagging feeling that you must be missing some secret ingredient. But here's the book's core idea, and it's a big one. The biggest thing holding you back isn't your boss or the economy or just plain bad luck. Nope. The single most powerful factor in your success is your internal narrative. It's the story you believe about yourself.
This quote from Maxwell Maltz just nails it. It's really the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about. Your actions aren't based on what's objectively true, but on your perceived reality, what you imagine to be true.
Okay, so that brings us to our very first major mindset shift. We have to get our heads around the idea that what we call reality is actually a story we've built for ourselves. And you know the best part about stories? They can be rewritten.
So what is this story exactly? Well, it's your belief system. It's the unique lens that you see the entire world through, and it's been built piece by piece from how you've interpreted everything that's ever happened to you. This means that what you see as just the way things are is really just the way you've learned to see things.
And here's the thing. Our brains come with a default setting right out of the box, a negativity bias. You know, for our ancestors, constantly scanning for danger was key to survival. But today, that same programming just makes us fixate on one piece of criticism or remember our failures way more than our successes. It's basically outdated software that's holding us back.
Just how powerful is this bias? Check this out. Research into relationships has shown that it takes at least 5 positive interactions to balance out the emotional weight of just a single negative one. That's how much conscious effort it takes to overcome our brain's default setting. So how do we actually start writing a better story? It all begins with what you let in. First, cut back on the constant flood of negativity from the news and TV. Second, think really hard about who you spend your time with. There's a reason they say you're the average of the 5 people you hang out with most. Third, change your morning routine. And finally, when you hit a wall, actively reframe it. Don't ask why me. Ask, what can I learn here?
This quote from Eckhart Tolle gives us an incredibly powerful tool for that reframing process, radical acceptance. Instead of burning all your energy fighting what's already happening, what if you accepted it? As if you had chosen it. That's what gives you the power to consciously decide what to do next.
All right, let's get into our second big shift. And trust me, this one can be an absolute game changer. It's the realization that you are not that voice inside your head.
The book calls it the monkey mind, which is a perfect description, isn't it? It's that non-stop inner chatterbox that's always judging, worrying, second-guessing, just swinging from one thought to the next like a monkey on a vine. Sound familiar? Yeah, we all have one.
Now think about this for a second. The very fact that you can notice your thoughts, that you can step back and observe them, that proves you aren't them. There's an awareness there, a you that's separate from the constant stream of thinking. You are the silent observer, not the chattering monkey.
And that whole collection of thoughts, all those memories from the past, all those worries about the future, that's what the book defines as the ego. It's your personal story, your identity. But it's so important to realize that this story, this ego, is just a mental construction. It is not the real you.
So, what do we do with all these negative thoughts? Well, one thing we don't do is try to fight them. That's like the classic white bear experiment. The more you tell yourself, don't think of a white bear, the more you see white bears everywhere. The way out isn't to suppress your thoughts, it's to accept and observe them.
So instead of wrestling with them, try this simple 4-step process. First, just accept the thought as there, without judging yourself for it. Second, get curious about it. Observe it like a scientist. Third, remind yourself this is just a thought, not a fact. And fourth, consciously let it go. Just let it drift on by.
And this brings us to the final, and honestly, the most empowering shift of all. Once you realize your reality is a story and you aren't your thoughts, you can finally step into your true role as the creator of your own life. I mean, Jim Rohn really puts it bluntly here, doesn't he? If you're not consciously and deliberately designing your own life, you're just going to fall into someone else's plan by default, and you'll end up serving their goals, not your own.
This is what that choice looks like, moving from a victim mindset to a creator mindset. The victim blames other people and complains about circumstances, basically just giving away all their power. The creator, on the other hand, takes responsibility and takes action, claiming their power. It's a fundamental choice you get to make in every single moment.
Now, this is a really important distinction. Taking responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself for things you can't control, like a sudden storm or a company layoff. It means taking 100% ownership of your response to those things. That is where your true power is.
Think of it this way. You are the president of your own life, and that means you are ultimately in charge of all these key departments. Your attitude, your happiness, your emotions. These aren't things that just happen to you. They are things you generate, manage, and are responsible for.
This all leads to a powerful new way of thinking about success. Instead of chasing what society tells you to want, you get to define it for yourself. And you can do that by asking a better question. How can I serve other people while doing something I genuinely love? Suddenly, success becomes about fulfillment and contribution, not just stuff. And this final quote from Jim Rohn just ties it all together so perfectly. Success isn't some destination you arrive at or a prize you chase down. It's about the person you become in the process of taking responsibility, rewriting your story, and mastering your inner world. It's an inside job.
So we'll end with this thought. The pen is in your hand. You are the author. You are the creator. You are the president. So, what will you write next?
All the ideas we've explored today come from the book Success: Why You Fail Where Others Succeed by Thibaut Muris. If any of this resonated with you, I definitely recommend grabbing a copy and diving deeper. Thanks for watching.